Good morning, everyone. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Kelly, and today we are going to be using these two beautiful books by Lisa Wang from the Gingerbread Prince. And she has a YouTube channel with the same name. So I have done a flip through on these two beautiful books. If you want to catch it and see all the different ephemera that Lisa provides in these two books, they are just beautiful. So we are going to be using these two books, and I am going to be collaging on this beautiful black background that has some embossed flowers on it. So sit back, relax. My name is Kelly, and I'm going to be starting to build. So I've got my coffee. I hope you guys have what you need. And I'm going to start first putting down some images and playing with their placement and seeing how everything is going to work. So bear with me as I play. I've got some things planned and the rest is unplanned, so you can see how I work things out when I don't have a plan. Now I'm already seeing that this, even though it's beautiful, is taking up a whole lot of room for this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut around these flowers to get rid of some of this excess. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. I have pre-cut a lot of my images so that you don't have to sit here and I take up your time with that. I'm not a fast fussy cutter on purpose. I like to take my time. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of this excess as well. So by fussy cutting your images, and I'm going to cut around the glow, not around the candle flame, but around the glow, because I do want that glow to show up. By doing this, you can get rid of some extra background that lets other images show forth in the background that you have layered. And by doing that, it lets some of the beauty of this show through, as well as this background. Now what I'm gonna do on this, I'm going to tear it here. Because that's part of the story. And I will use this on another collage. I do use my scraps. And also too, when you have dark images and you tear, you can end up with white. So I've already got some distress oxide on this, which is the black soot, which is gonna come in handy with this project. So I will leave it right there for future use. So you can go along the edges, get rid of that white. You can even go inside some of it to darken. So you go from this to this. You can darken some of those shapes. Sometimes you want the white to show, but in this case we don't. So it all depends on the look and aesthetic that you're going for. I've already fussy cut around that building for interest and intrigue. And this path right here has got some light to it, but I want to dampen it because this is a very dark subject matter. So you can take leftover distressed ink and just roll it along areas to kind of get some dampening effect. And I did do that on this right here so that it's not so bright. And you can do that on any parts that you want to dampen. So we've got that going for us. Okay. Now I have some other pieces that I may want to incorporate. So, keeping that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the black border that this has, because it will show up on the background better. Now, I do not use Lisa's books as she does, but that's the magic of her books. Any ephemera books is you do not have to use them as the artist uses them. She encourages us, I know. She does, because she's an artist. Her videos are ASMR, so no speaking. I'm gonna cut off that line as well. But I know as an artist, she would encourage us to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down some pieces that are strategic, leaving room for others. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. That helps me to know where to go next and how to build the rest of it. Now, if you look on the back, there are beautiful images on the back as well. And I've got a bottom that I'm not liking. If you've got an image that has a coloring or a highlight to it that is distracting, you can shape the image in such a way that it gets rid of the highlight that is distracting. And I'm rounding these corners to make it look like a book binding, which it actually is. It's the binding that Lisa provides if you decide to make your own journal. So I'm going to go ahead and get this piece down next. And see, you've got some spiders and spider webs on the back. In a moment, I'm going to show you where we're going to go with this theme with a picture. On my phone. Now the wonderful thing about this glue is if you get too much coming out from the bottom and edges, if you rub your hands, the glue just rolls off. And this glue that I'm using, if you're wondering, is my favorite. It's the Tombow Mono Aqua. And I have found that you can get a set of 10 for less than you can get 2 in the craft store. And you can get them on Amazon. So I do save money because I go through a lot of glue. And I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of my coffee. Cheers. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this couple down as well. But before I do that, let me go ahead and show you the picture I'm going to show you. It's today's subject matter. And it is the Black Widow spider. Now on her belly, a lot of people think this is on her back, but it's actually on her belly is a red hourglass. So that is how you can tell what kind of spider you're dealing with. She is not small, she's very large. But the nature of the Black Widow is that when she gets a mate, as soon as she has mated and created an egg sac, she will destroy the male. That is why she is called a black widow. So that is the nature of that particular spider. So that is what we're building today, is a scene from the heart of the black widow. Now what I want to do is get this piece down here because we're going to be working with it and manipulating it in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and get that down, but I'm only going to get down the edges. I don't want the middle affected just yet. And you'll see why in just a moment. Now I have this letter that I've cut out, but it's a little bit too brand new looking. So it doesn't matter how wrecked I get it. I want it to look wrecked. I want it to look old. I want it to look ancient. See, this is how you can get rid of some of the white edges, is by using the black soot or even your vintage photo if you wanted more vintage. Now, if you use the black soot with an edge like this, you can make it look burnt. So the first color you want to use to look burnt is this vintage photo or a brown color. That's always first. And then your black. Your black is always on the edges of a burnt document. I'm not doing a whole lot, but because there is an image on the back and I want the letter to show up, I have to roll it up in such a way that the letter is seen and not the roses. And I'm not being very gentle with it. I want it to be craggy, old. Let's see how this is all. All wrecked, looking like it's been around. Now I have to make sure that this back part doesn't show. So I have to be very strategic. Okay. And again, I'm not being gentle with it. So I cut along this line and I cut along this line so that I can then tuck this letter in. But I have to be careful with the other parts so that it doesn't interrupt. Because I want it to look like it's tucked under this band. So bear with me as I gingerly move this into place. Let me pull this back just a bit and pull that back. And this is wanting to come undone, so bear with me. And once I get it into place, then I can start playing with it. There we go. And I want to get the underside not to show. Now, there is this white part here that I want to dampen, because I don't want that to show. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down so it won't pop up. And you can even darken the letter some more to make it look more like it's not brand new. And again, I don't want that underneath to show as far as the back with the roses, but I do want it to be craggy on the edges. Okay, so that is how you can get an image interacting with another image. We're gonna pop it up here just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get this piece down. I do want to give it some room on the edge, just like I did this one. So I want to somewhat line it up. So this particular piece is called the Black Widow. I probably need a bone folder because my other little flat ruler, I got a little heavy-handed with it on one video and broke it right in half by pressing too hard. Okay, so there's that. I'm just gonna start placing some other images. This one says, Shadows of the Lost Heart. And it can be a double meaning. Lost heart meaning her lost heart because of what she's turned into. or his lost heart because she destroyed him. So I want to get a piece down that is an hourglass. Now remember, the red hourglass is on her tummy. But this one is a black hourglass. But we are going to put, and let me find it. I know I had it here earlier. Here it is. We're going to put her inside the hourglass, and I'm going to show you how to get away with that. So I want her tiny waist to be at the middle part of the hourglass where the sand gets pinched through. So what I have to do is I have to put these pieces back together with its middle part. And this is its middle part. But the middle part has to go over the image of the girl. So I'll show you what I mean before I actually pin it down. So we're putting her here. We're putting her here. And then the middle part goes over her waist. So it looks like she's then inside the hourglass. Okay, so bear with me as I strategically get this done so that it works out perfectly. The first thing I want to get down is this piece. It is strategic for the other pieces. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to position this exactly where I need it. I don't want to cover up all that gorgeous window. I do want that hourglass overlapping the edge and overlapping this area here for interest and intrigue. Okay, now we want to put the girl here. So that she's inside. So I'm gonna glue the top of her only so that I can manipulate that bottom part. And again, I want her tiny waist to be right where that middle section of the hourglass would be. Now I'm going to put the bottom on. making sure that she's on top and that these two pieces are lined up enough to then put the middle piece on. Okay, I'm gonna put her in the hourglass itself. And then now I'm going to put the middle piece over her waist. Then that makes it look like she's actually in the hourglass. Now I did notice something. I want to trim the bottom of this because she's a little bit outside the border that I want her in. So I'm gonna trim her up and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. So this is what she was like. Remove that, and now she's actually inside because she's inside this border, and I need to do a little bit more on the edge here. And I'm cutting it in such a way that it's rounded. I want her inside that glare of the glass. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to further make it look like she's actually in it. And you'll get to see that in just a moment. So the black sand is here coming down. So the black sand piece needs to go this way. Now by putting this over and making it match, when you glue it down, you can't tell that it was separated. And I'm going to get rid of the white edge, and it's going to help it glue it down. Okay, now makes it just a little bit darker as well. I have got, you see this glare on the glass right here? We're gonna take it all the way down across her dress. And that is gonna actually make it look like she's further inside that hourglass. You can add some more to further the look. And that's how you get a woman inside an hourglass. Fun. And nobody knows how you did it except the person who saw you do it. Okay. Now let's get some other pieces down. I do have a wonderful guy or gal that I'm going to actually put on here. This is something I got for just a couple of dollars. This actually was the price on the bag, but I got it at a Dollar Tree. So I got it for actually $1.25 is the actual, and it comes with all the different sizes of the spiders. So today we're gonna take one of those, ta-da, and we're going to place it somewhere. And the legs, all the legs do not have to be on the page. So I want some tucked in. You see how her arm is wrapped around the scroll? Okay, so then what I'm going to do is put this on top. So you see the spider coming out from underneath. And then I have another surprise for you guys. Okay, so let's get Miss Black Widow down. But she's actually going to be upside down. Because remember, the hourglass is on her belly, not her back. Okay, so that's there right now. And we don't need those legs to be fully there. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I can get away with something. You guys will be able to decide if I do or not. So this is her belly. We're gonna leave that alone for just a moment, letting that get nice and happy. Okay, and then we'll take the excess off here. So let's play with some other things. Oh, I've got another surprise visitor. Mr. Raven. Now, I'm gonna have the raven come up off the page. So that's why he's on top of the scroll. Now, ravens are beautiful birds as far as their personalities. In the Bible, when God told Elijah during a famine to camp near a river, he said, I will command the ravens to bring you bread and meat in the morning and in the evening. And that's exactly what happened for 3.5 years. The ravens fed Elijah under the command of God. And it's also been known that ravens are they love people. Believe it or not, they do love people. There was a man who had a family of ravens in a tree outside his home. And there was a story that I read where he fed the ravens. Every day he would bring them seeds and fruit and things, and he would leave it in such a way that they would know that that was for them. So the father of the group, the alpha male, decided one day he was going to thank the man for taking care of his family. And I've already pre-cut this claw. He decided he was going to say thank you to the man. So he gathered up yarn, a party string from a balloon, leaves, a pop top, the metal kind, and he wove the ribbon in the middle of the pop top with the ribbon through the circle. And he wove the leaves around the ribbon and made it like a little brooch. The raven did all this. And because they love shiny things, that's why he's got the jewel in his claw. Because they love shiny things. They like to collect shiny things. They like to decorate their nest with the shiny things. So there's our hourglass. So the man came out to feed the ravens and noticed that there was this gift on his porch by the door. And the ravens were sitting there watching the house. And as soon as he came out and picked it up, they started talking to him and cawing and making their sounds, letting them know, thank you. And so he said thank you back, of course. And I think it's just a beautiful story of how a bird can be so interactive with humans. Okay, I'm gonna do, I had this picture. I have to decide how much of that hourglass I want to show. And I don't need to show all of it. I just need to show exactly what it is. I do have some little pieces that I want to use to decorate. And I've got to find them all because I've already fussy cut them. So play with your images and see exactly how you want them to show up. Don't be afraid to put images on top of images. It adds depth and dimension without you even thinking about it. Have some jewels, but these jewels are in such a way that they form an hourglass. So I just have to decide where I want to put them. And I want the smaller of the jewels on top. Because with an hourglass, you usually do have a larger base in some designs. Others are equal. Some designs you'll have the smaller on top. So some people have asked me, how long does it take to come up with an idea? And how long does it take to get all these images fussy cut and your story? I don't know that I want the violin for this one. Now I've got a brass piece that I've already glued and put some glitter on. So I believe I want to put that glass piece or brass piece down. Now this will tack overnight. This glue is very good for tacking pieces like this. And I'll give that a moment to tack. And I apologize for the background noise. I've got a roommate that is up and about. Now this is just some scraps. That I'm looking to see. And you know what? I don't think I want to do it. On that one I do. So I'm going to get this one down. Underneath that scroll. Again, don't be afraid to go outside your borders of what you've already got there that's lined up. It adds interest and intrigue. And then I'm going to get this piece down coming out from it. And it's going to go right over that piece. Okay. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, let me trim this up. See, this is still loose. It will tack overnight. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, the Black Widow. Thank you so much for joining me on this project so I can show you how to embed images into other images and create an interactive collage. This was so much fun to do. Thank you, Lisa Wang, for your beautiful images. And thank you, everyone, for joining me and spending your time here, relaxing. And I will see you on the next one.